Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the Welcome to Arena podcast. This is episode 5 of the Vanguard. My name is Cracked Wisdom, and this evening I am joined by BlakeDahlia and LootGoblin from the Vanguard itself. Blake, good evening. How are we doing? Welcome in. Introduce yourself to the guys in chat and let us know a little bit about you.
I'm doing good. A little sleepy, a lot of it, but um, I'm Blake. I stream on Twitch. I play in bands and shit, make music. I'm IGL and captain for Vanguard Gaming, and yeah, actually, Loot is the one who hit me up a while ago and got me into the comp scene. And yeah, Loot,
I'm
introduce
Luke
yourself.
Goblin. I'm Luke Goblin. I started streaming on Twitch just recently. I founded and run Vanguard with a couple of my buddies. We got invited last July into a tournament series for Arena. We kind of just started putting together a team for it and found Blake, and it's just been kind of crazy ever since.
Yeah, I've done a couple of seasons now as Vanguard, as one of the mainstays of the American scene, I think, at this point in time. Definitely a team that's expanded and developed from its original roster to the current one, and then even maybe something on the horizon for a Div 2, which I think we're going to get to talk a little bit about shortly on the
Yes, sir.
episode tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you in, and would like to take a small moment to thank the guys for taking some time out of the day. Reached
Of
out
course.
to Blake Dahlia and Luke, well, like a couple of weeks ago now, I think it was, Luke, that we spoke about timings, and we agreed that Wednesdays are an odd one. Paul Luke here is a hard grafter, all right? The beard shows it, okay? This man has a very well matured and worked beard out of years of graft, I assume, okay? That is due to him working hard. So Wednesdays are an on-off thing. So we managed to finally get that Wednesday from Luke. And Blake, as gracious as always, did say he was free. He said just to reach out when the chance would be. So we managed to get a hold of these two for today's podcast. We're going to talk about a few things today, guys. We're actually going to give you a little bit of a rundown of the bill of what's going on before we get into the yap today. A little bit of feedback you guys gave us from the previous episodes is that you've enjoyed the content, but when it started off, you're not really sure what you're in for and that you'd like a little bit of a brief. So, well, here's the new improved version, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we're going to be speaking with Vanguard about a few different topics, including the Battle Pass, the paints in the game, current drip, their favourite thoughts, features, and feelings when it comes to the weapons and the kits inside of the current state of Escape from Tarkov. We're going to take a little delve around politics lane for a second. We're going to talk a little bit and discuss about Twitch rivals and the rivals that went on and sort of the surrounding scenes of that, some thoughts and feelings, and maybe some discussions about the topics that cross the socials. And then we're going to close it out with some stuff that Vanguard have got to bring to the table themselves, give the guys a little bit of a chance to tout about what they're doing so you guys can check in on their socials, the X pages, the Twitters, the game team pages, for example. So Blake and Luke Goblin will have their own individual X sources that you can find them on for all of their solo endeavors, be it their Twitch streams or other bits and bobs that they do in their personal life. And then there is the Vanguard page itself. So you're going to get all of those links posted for you a little bit later on so you can keep in tune with the action. Now, gents, first thing to talk about. Let's have a little chat about the Battle Pass, okay? First, initial thoughts and feelings. I'll start with Luke first. Luke, talk to me. Battle Pass, what's your best
Super
thing?
impressed by it. Super duper impressed. I thought for sure there was going to be some kind of had to pay to get it. The skins are great. Don't be wrong. I wish that green flannel was USEC as well, but overall, I was very, very, very impressed. It's been an absolute godsend to the game. I think it's revived a lot of the queues and whatnot. Like it feels like it has brought a lot of life to the game and good stuff.
Good. Love to hear it. Personal favorite feature of the Battle Pass so far? What is it that's really taken the cake for you? Is it the paints? Is it the different features of the shirts, or maybe some of the masks? What is it in particular that's really got you grinding that Battle Pass out right now?
It's got to be that night. The
Really?
shirts and skins are just so sick. Don't get me wrong, the camos are great too. I've long said that I would love to see like guns camos and stuff like that. It's just they hit all the marks for it. It's so good. Ideally, we
Some
can paint all of our guns soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people have mentioned the desire to paint. I think the one common one I think the most shouted out for at the moment is either the meta suppressor for the MCX. Give us a paint on that suppressor, the 6-hour one, or the AK-12. Okay, I know I'm an AK-12 enjoyer. I'd love to see us be able to put a camo on that suppressor there. So big hopes for that in the future. I know you were saying you were grinding your battle pass, Luke, to try and get the shirt, but not quite able to get it in time. How far away are we
Nope.
now?
I'm 40, almost at 41 or 141. Got
Wow.
9 more levels till it's completely done. I've been no lifing degenning this game.
Smooth, smooth. Chat. Just a quick picture of the drip, by the way. Loot decided to take a moment to grab us a picture of what it looks like from the loot perspective. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you see this man running you down in game, you know that it's that big smiley face behind that lovely ginger beard that's coming at you with potentially any kit of danger. And the reason I've pulled this up
Nope.
next to one of the clips for today is because we've got a little bit of a clipo for you guys, right? For well, what do we call this, Loot? Do we call this what happens when Loot pops off? Is that what this is right now? We're gonna have a look a little bit. Okay, so Loot likes to walk around with one of these new kits, chat. Okay, and when I say new kits, I mean, you know the really frustrating Masker one. You know that lovely kit. Oh yeah, you see, Trevi in chat knows, guys. All right, Trevi is already thoroughly aware of where we're at with this.
I hate it so much.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, LootGoblin in full flow. Can I just point out, this nade is great. Exactly. Thank you, Dahlia. Absolutely awesome nade. Pay keen attention to the rage quit bottom right of the screen after this man has absolutely melted all 4 of the members. Unfortunate. Unbelievable scenes.
So broken.
It's unnecessary.
They need to get rid of it. So
Talk
bad.
about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it then, because that's the thing, isn't it? So talk to me about what you like about it, Loot. And then, Blake, I've really got to hear this. You want rid of it. And I think I'm going to be honest with you, Blake. You see that space on the bed next to you that's nice and neatly made? I'm sitting right next to you on that bench, cheering from the sidelines. I'm going to be real with you.
It's so Enforcer. I mean, they took away all the gun kits, right? They gave you can either use an RPK, which the ammo stats on it are terrible, or you can use a belt fed. That, not get me wrong, removing LPS from PKP was needed because that was actually insane. I actually jumped from like 2,000 ARP to 2,500 in like 3 days because it was so disgusting. M60 is a good close second. The stats are pretty similar to what the PKP has now, but it's just a laser beam, and you're so tanky because there's a handful of bullets that can deal with a level 5 in a mash.
Yeah,
it's definitely like an Exodia. You should not be able to have all 3 pieces to it. It's too insane.
And they changed little bits of it, right? We had that adjustment with a patch that came in just before the Arena Cup series where the PKP price went up, LPS went into the bin, which was a deserved choice. I think I'm going to be honest with you. The Masker cost overall doubled, more than doubled. Actually, I think it was just slightly over doubled in cost. So realistically now, you, like you said, you really do have to spend all of the Enforcer points into it, but you can still get Exodia for free. It's like going to a Pokemon shop and buying that deck that is currently top of the meta straight out of the box without having to buy booster packs to empower it. It's just being, okay, cool, so now I officially have the best thing. And there's no trade-off for it too. So there's definitely a lot of frustration around the Masker. Blake, talk to me, because it's not just annoying, but it feels like it's the limited amount of choices to deal with it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like, especially if I forget who I was talking to about it yesterday, but there's pretty much no reason to pick Assault over Scout anymore. Like, really? Because like you would have the level 5 armor where you could be a little bit tankier and stuff, but like you just have worse ammo than Scout. You have a little bit bigger of mags, and like you don't have as good of meds. Yeah, it's just a worse Scout. And say you run into fucking Loot and you're on Assault, it's going to take a couple shots to the face to kill him. It's impossible. And like,
let's show the chat the kit, shall we, Blake? Let's let them have a look at what this really looks like in real time, and just talk to me about the various bits of this as we give this up for the chat. Then, so right now, what they're going to get to see it's a Masker. All right, that's right. It is one of those dirty, filthy, ugly, olive-looking buckets that goes over the top with the tier 6 base cover. It is a Cuirassier. And yes, Luke did the good work in being able to grind out the battle pass, so he has the different coloured one, which I do prefer over the blue. I do like the tan / olive style. It suits Arena better, doesn't it? It looks nicer. And then the weapon of choice here for Luke is the M60. The PKP is still viable, I think, with the lower tier bullets. I don't think that the removal of LPS is enough, personally.
Oh no, the FMJ is OP. You can 2-tap people to the chest if they're wearing level 4. Guaranteed.
The amount of bullets is the difference for me. You get like 40-something bullets with that current setup as a PKP versus 85, so I can just from the hip spray people and not worry about like, oh my god, my bullets need to hit.
But also with the BT, it's still like the blunt damage on that does so much. You can 2-3 tap people to the chest with the BT.
I just looked at that again now. It's like you said 85. I hadn't looked at the bullet count on it actually, because normally you see them running. It's like the 60s to the 70s, right? You see about 61 to 67 normally in the magazine. If you're, like you say, on the PKP, you're more in the 40s area. If you're lucky, maybe low 30s to mid 30s for the ammo count you get overall. But when you talk about time to kill being reduced and you only really need 2 bullets, you don't care that you've only got 30s. Like, I've seen a guy just tap, 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 and just walk through an entire map because he can. It doesn't matter. As long as he's walking the angle down and knows where you are, you don't
Yeah.
really have a choice because you're just pinned into cover. So,
Yeah. And there are ways to work around like the limited ammo stuff, and I just don't feel like saying it out loud because I don't need that kind of hate in Arena. I don't need that kind of hatred just being in every one of my games. Like,
I will ask
I am
one
gatekeeping
question.
it. I don't care.
I'm really interested to see your guys' perspective on this because for me, I don't mind seeing that kit, but I'm a little bit toxic when it comes to this kind of thing because what's the one armored area on this player that doesn't really have much protection?
They're back.
Legs.
The legs. And you know what's really great in that Enforcer class that disperses the kit points a lot better across your resources? An Ash 12 with PS12A and a Vulcan. I'm going to be really honest with you. It's
I got
currently one of the
smashed by one of those
strongest
earlier.
TTK weapons. That's the thing, Lou, is it's one of the fastest TTKs in the game right now. 3 PS12A kills you to any flesh limb. Arm or leg, doesn't matter. It's an insta 3-shot. The first bullet takes off 169 damage and will black a limb, minimum. The
Yeah.
second bullet leaves you so close to dead that you don't need to win fights. Like, you literally, even if I clip your 2 legs once, Lou, and you kill me with your 2 bullets, you're now wasted for the rest of the game because you are a walking sack of death. Like, you're already falling over. And that's what I feel like is the way to be honestly able to deal with it if you have a good Ash 12 leg meta player. Now, I've seen it being played in certain areas, and the adjustment to it is a lot of players are playing headshot angles more commonly. It's very hard to shoot people through the legs if their legs aren't showing. Thoughts?
Yeah. But also, like, if you can get behind them, just really, I don't want to go there. But if you're able to shoot them in the back of the head or the back, it's not so bad. They're way less tanky. And like, so that's somewhat of a balance. It's just they should be shooting hugs and kisses at people. They shouldn't be fucking shooting 36 pen ammo. They should be shooting sub 30 for sure.
I agree. I do big agree, and I think it's a little bit of a joke because we talk about the Destiny background a little bit, right? And character identity in Destiny is a bit of a joke that's gone down along with a lot of the criticism that comes alongside of it as a game. I actually think Arena has a better outlook on that potential, and I think that's what it's kind of missing is this. It's like we argued for a while almost for an even fair spread across the trees. And I think what we were actually arguing for was balance across the weapons rather than the trees. And I think now that we're more leaning towards it, we've gotten comfortable with the balance. We're starting to want a character identity from the trees now, where you have that trade-off for trade-in for what it actually represents. We spoke about, like you've just said there, Blake, shooting hugs and kisses at somebody. It's an enforcer class. It's meant to be able to stand there and dance swinging in the daisies whilst people throw tank shells at them. That's the idea. It's meant to absorb the abuse. But at the same time, he's not also meant to look at you and go, ah, and then you fall down.
To tap you to the chest.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. Like, shooting thorax is meta right now. Like, shooting head is not meta. There's so much ricochet chance and stuff on helmets and face shields and stuff. And it might be cope, but it seems like it's doing a lot. And I don't know, like if I'm aiming center of mass, I'm getting way more kills than if I'm shooting headshot. Unless I'm using the vector, which the vector is broken right now.
I'm so glad
broken.
you said that. I'm so glad you said that. The 45 Vector right now is great. I'm a big fan of the 45 Vector and where it's at because it does do a little
OP.
bit to combat that slow play style of the Enforcers too. And here's the one thing, Luke. That Enforcer kit's great, but if you get a smart Vector player, they know that the bullet does enough damage to leg or arm meta you too. It's not intended leg meta ammo, but 45 Rip is just as good. And with that fire rate, you can melt a leg from an Enforcer as quick as you can with some of the leg meta ammo.
Even AP has 66 damage, I think, and at 1100 RPM.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah.
So yeah, if you just spam somebody's legs, you're gonna get them.
There was a
Or
match
you
earlier.
can end up putting like 14 rounds into like their protected stomach because you're aiming like dick level, which I typically do if I'm trying to like leg meta somebody because like tummy, tummy shots hurt, but I don't know.
It's more center of mass to hit, right? The legs move, and there's another thing. It's a similar
Yeah.
concept for the shoulder movement that we've been talking about recently. Is the legs are constantly moving position. The hit registration can be at times interesting. It's funny you say that. When I've been playing on this Ash 12 leg meta and been playing myself, I normally aim for like the top part of the thigh, so from the hip to the knee area, and I'll try and trace
Mhm.
that because there's quite a lot of consistency where the legs don't
Yep.
have a gap when they overlap. But I've found myself before going lower than that knee and then looking like I've traced the legs pretty good, but I get like a one hit reg, and
Yeah.
you perfectly scored a goal every time they've taken a step, basically.
True.
Interesting one.
Yeah.
The Vector does go Burr. The PKP's in a place. The M60's in a place. So talk to me about Assault then, because this is what I'm really interested in, because the Assault tree felt dead before the changes, bar AK-12, and now that they've adjusted the meta score, the overall firepower score, and the Assault class costs, how do we feel? Spear back?
Yeah, Spear's back. AK-12 is still goated for it. Well, the blunt damage is fucking insane on the Spear, and like just the damage in general, and that's where it has the upper hand on, AK-12. But if you are fighting enforcers and people that, well, enforcers with the Vulcan rather than the Masca,
Yeah.
you can like one tap them in the face if you don't get a ricochet, which that helmet actually ricochets so much, and that's not cope, that's tested. But
Agree.
yeah, not having level 5 is a huge hit to Assault, and I think we should give level 6 back to Enforcer, make it have way worse ammo, and like way worse ammo, and make Assault viable again. I don't know, it's just so bad right now. Well, compared to Scout, it's not unusable, but if you're looking at like the spread, if you're looking at the jobs that each class does,
yes,
and well is supposed to do, Assault's just a worse Scout. And like sure it has like, somewhat scopes and which makes it more mid-rangey type, but I don't know.
it's in a weird
like,
place.
yeah, it's in a super weird place. Like, it shares an ammo with Enforcer, the BCP FMJ. Like, what? Either Enforcer has to lose that, or Assault should have better. Which I think Enforcer should just lose it.
I'm going to be honest. Oh, go on. Yeah, go on, Luke. Go for it. You first.
I would like to see Assault become more of like a bruiser. So obviously your Enforcer's a tank.
Yeah.
Your two ADCs should be Scout and Marksman. I think Marksman should be more of a glass cannon, super high
100%.
damage, and basically fart at them and they fucking die.
Yeah,
and
pack on.
Yeah, and like so that way you have a better breakup of like the run of double Enforcer. All right, Scout guy and Marksman, nuke them. It allows more strategic play rather than just, oh my god, he's running at me with a mask. What do I do?
Yeah.
And then if you're like, all the options for Assault right now feel really meh. Some of the guns are great. The ammo with the changes to get more ammo is nice, but they don't feel like they tank enough at all. And when the trade off for damage wise.
Interesting. Very interesting. I am curious to see if we've not got enough armor choices in the meta right now. I'm interested to say that maybe the Assault tree needs something more in the armored rig capacity, where it costs less because you wear a one piece instead of an armor and a chest piece, gives you a bit more freedom for more magazines and therefore more ammo into that DPS, the more bruiser style gameplay where you work over time rather than being punchy or specifically resistant. And then those armored rigs have a better value in the consistency from the soft armor, for example. I'd like to see some protection from, like, and this is where I think the issue is right now, is soft armor is irrelevant. You don't have a class right now that doesn't pen soft armor. Like, even on an Enforcer, you can't, like, your bullets as an Enforcer hitting soft armor doesn't really do much. The only thing you put soft armor in there for right now is a dice roll. It's an extra check for your bullet.
That's actually not true.
Ooh,
and yeah, and a couple of us ended up going into like a custom game and like testing it.
Okay.
I think it was like me, Ash, Foxy, few people, and it seemed, or at least how it was, I should say. I don't know about right this second, but we were using a trooper with the Titan plate, I believe,
Yes.
and um if you had no air mid, you would take about um 4 shots of SOST before you penned.
Okay.
But if you had the trooper with the air mid, it would be 7 and 9.
So the soft armor was working against the SOST as we were hoping to, though, that then it was
Yeah.
absorbing a lot of that abuse. Interesting. So maybe it's not a case that it's not working as it is right now. It's the case that the ammos available to the classes makes it feel a lot weaker. For
Yeah.
example, if I run 5.56 as an ammo across even assault right now, a 5.6A1 feels so detrimental to me. I do not feel like 5.6A1 is reliable in the assault tree anymore, even anywhere near as it was before the first set of changes to when, you know, HKs and M4s became the thing. I think for the longest time, HK was actually winning that fight in the assault tree specifically because of the build concept, right? Certain abilities on barrels and stats. That HK was just really dominating the scene for that. And now it's, I mean, it's one of the best paintable guns, but it feels like every time I take it out of the cupboard, I'm taking it out for a fun game, not for a to win game, because I want to see what my
Yeah,
gun
right.
looks like because it's cool, which sucks a bit. Because I want to be able to pick that gun and play it and it feels strong, but the meta is the meta, and that's always going to be the case, I think, with the game. How do you feel about the meta shifts? Do you want it to be less? Do you want it to be more? Do you like the extreme swap over, or do you think this is too much? And the best question, I think, that's really the point of this is how well do you think Battle State games so far have reacted time wise to requests for balancing changes, adjustments, right?
From me talking to them and like posting and stuff, they seem to be pretty responsive. I don't like whether they're gonna like do anything about what I'm saying. That's, a different story, but they are responsive, but to a degree. But as far as the meta shift, I feel like it was better. Like because it just seemed like so much of an extreme rather than like honing in on the actual problems. And it was just like, okay, we're gonna blow up the current meta because this and this and this are the most used things. We're gonna nerf all of those and then figure it out from there.
Yep.
And like I don't know, it just, I can get why they would do that. Now is the time to do stuff like that, like while it's in beta. But I think and it's definitely not the end of the world that it's happening.
Just a
But
little bit more finesse and execution next time, maybe. I've got to say that
yeah,
time wise for adjustments, when we've been delivered patches to fix it and adjust it, I think has been pretty good so far. I mean, we were
yeah, I
two
can get
weeks
behind
into
that.
PKP and we lost LPS GZH before the, and this is the big one for me as a caster and a commentator, before the ACS. Before we were all about to watch the first 3 days worth of our eardrums bleeding to 2 PKP enforcers per team for sure minimum on one half of the match, it came in. Yes, it was a harsh break for the ACS competitors, and I do want to talk about that a little bit too, because
Mm-hmm.
that patch adjustment 2 days before tournament day is a stress. Like as a team, those 48 hours must have been right. Grind, custom matches, check weapons out, level them up, and that's the other thing too. It takes a specific amount of time to level weapons. You know, Luke, we've been
Yeah,
leveling the battle pass. Yeah, like the AKs that have now become pretty good. Your AK-74N, your AK-102, some of these that are off meta ish picks but are very good in the scout tree now. They've got like 20 or 30 levels for some of them. That's not a small leveling process, so
Yes.
well,
For sure.
were they on custom accounts though for ACS, or were they on tournament accounts? I'm pretty sure
I'm
they
not
were,
sure. I'm not sure. It's a good question, honestly. One I
which
don't
would
know off
have
the top of my
everything
head.
unlocked.
True. But they would have been able to test. Okay, so even still the time to test them, but fair enough. Maybe not to unlock them as of
Yeah.
such. But I mean, 48 hours of testing is wild alone. And the thing I think that's interesting is 48 hours of testing tells you what's strong in the meta. It doesn't necessarily tell you what works. And I've noticed
Yeah,
this a
that's
lot.
true.
Is you
Right.
can say, like, for example, the Balti's very good right now. There are some teams
Yeah,
that believe that if you're not running 2 marksmen on attack, that you are throwing the game. It's that powerful.
it
Thoughts?
is really good. You can go ahead if you want.
Oh, I like the spot the bolties are in. I am so dog shit at it. I do not use them because Luke cannot hit his shots. But it feels like every time somebody has one of the crazy bolt action ammos, like if you get hit with it, oh, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Hmm. They made a good point in chat,
Yeah.
actually, that the ACS must be tournament accounts because they've got the Cyber Green skin, the new one that's not actually released
Oh,
on the
true,
game
true,
yet.
true.
So that makes sense. So yes,
Ah.
they would be tournament accounts. Good shout, Energy. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's a good perspective and interesting from you, Luke, as you have that masker kit. Because the Balti is your worst
Exactly.
nightmare on that, right? You get one tap to the
Yeah.
thorax, and you can get one tap through that face shield quite comfortably.
Easily. I try to,
Yeah.
if I hear a bolt action popping off, I'm usually playing on the other side of the map.
It's fair. Any thoughts on the Balti for angles and stuff in the game right now, Blake? Do you feel like Fort and Bay 5 have viability for that Balti, or is it a case that players need to be able to adjust and play a couple of different kits very competently
I
right now?
I think there's roles that can be there that can use it. Like I was just using it the other day on Fort, and I I learned a lot of what I can and can't do with it. And I don't know, I need more testing on Fort with it, but it's like a new thing that we're trying out. Like we are definitely trying out marksmans in our kits and stuff, or in our setups. And because they are fucking broken. Like they are so broken. And I think that having it be less tanky, like not that it's like super tanky or anything, but like it shouldn't have level 4 armor, in my opinion. You should like Loot was saying, it should be a glass cannon. Like you should have to respect people just spraying rather than like peeking through a spray and like I don't know. It's yeah, and it goes back to what I was saying. There needs to be roles. Like you have to yeah, and the balancing should be through that, like rather than through like you should always consider the role, what the role's job is, and then how the other roles are going to play into that. And like it just seems like that wasn't even part of the thought process behind it.
The one thing I
I
wanted
don't know.
to sort of touch on, and we'll close out on the Baltis on this one, but they haven't adjusted them yet. Cost, bullet, weapon stats, not a single change or touch to them, which makes me think that they think that they're in a good place, which makes me think that there's a thinking that they are going to be staying here for a little while too, which makes
Mhm.
me think and hope that on the horizon there may be some maps in the future that play into that play style more specifically in a longer lane sense. I'm wondering if thoughts of maybe a blast gang block. Yes, I'm dreaming, guys. All right, yeah, we are reaching a little bit here, but that long lane down by Broken House and Team Fight is a long lost, forgotten, fond memory for all of us AXMC extraordinaires from the original dropping of that weapon back when ACS, the first ACS, came around, and it was, a very prevalent thing at that point in time. I mean, one of the intro clips for Hunt, I think, even before the newest edition, had AXORAR Aurora fighting a 1v3 in that ACS semi-final match to the guy on the top of the platform where he ends up getting jump shot as the guy jumps off in rough fashion, but he's one of these.
Yeah, before the custom presets, I was a Brig and Gaze main. Like, so and like for the smaller maps, I would use Brig. For the longer maps, I would use Gaze. And like that shit ripped.
It still
Do you
kind of
think that they
does.
could be reworking Sawmill? Or
Yeah, they are.
Oh, I would be
They said
very
they are.
down for a sawmill. Are they working on this? So we've had confirmation that it's something they're looking into, right? It's being
Yeah,
sort of
when
looked
they
at.
took it when they took it away, they said that they're revising it for like the specific game modes. And then there's besides the maps we have now, I'm pretty sure there's only 2 more that are planned,
Okay.
maybe,
Okay.
which would be Resort and I think the other one was called the Box.
Is
Interesting.
Resort going to be multi-level? 1, 2, and 3? Just be flat like all the other.
I have no clue. It would be weird to have a vertical map.
have we had these things
And
teased yet?
audio would suck.
That's what I'm watching for. Is have we had these things teased yet? Because I mean, if we've got images and stuff of these bits that have been dropped by Battlestate, then maybe we can have a little nosy at these at the moment in time and see what's quacking on. But there are definitely some crazy things going. I know they mentioned 3 maps throughout this year were going to be talked about on the roadmap. I know there was something touted when they were speaking about the longer theory of the process
Yeah.
right now, but I'm not sure. We'll have a look at those in a little bit. But I'm keen. And I'm keen and curious
I'm gonna
because
send you a
Volties are
screenshot.
a very exciting thing. Oh, we're getting screenshots, chat. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hold up. Wait a minute. Whilst we're doing that, guys, what I'm going to do is I am going to deliver you
Yeah, you can go ahead.
an awesome clip from the guys from earlier, all right? So I asked Blake and I asked Loot if they had any clips of some cool gameplay to show us, okay? Because we do like to, what should we say, showcase the talent of the guys that are on the podcast. So here's a little one from Blake from earlier on.
That's definitely not a showcase one. Did you get a chance to watch it?
How does he move like that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I got a chance to watch it. And I'm going to let chat watch it a second time as well. Don't you worry.
This bug is so cooked. From the grave.
So that is what we call a snake. A slithery snake after he's had a Red Bull. Because that snake grows wings and then flies up and shoots you in the face. And I'm not going to lie, that's a ruthless one. No, here's a nice one.
And yeah, this bug is so weird. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know how. It makes no sense. Also, ignore the ACOG. I was testing.
I was testing. I was going to ask you about this scope. That was going to be my next question. Was
secret meta?
This is interesting. You see the top of his head there, Blake? You can shoot him if you what?
Oh, wait a minute.
Okay. Why is he
what
like?
Was that?
Yeah, that guy just hit. I don't know, hit the griddy real quick and just decided to do some quick moves like Jagger on the plat. That was.
Shit.
Wow, that's wild. Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy scenes. There you go.
So dumb.
Just goes to show, all right? You saw it, and sometimes seeing is believing, all right? Sometimes you really do need to see it to believe it, and yeah, completely legitimate people that just teleporting away. We had one earlier, actually. We were playing some games on stream before we round up to the podcast today, and I had a guy that swung out of Cult, jumped into my screen, and as his feet were about to hit the floor, disappeared. Just straight up, just disappeared. Connectivity, you know, when you rubber band and you go back a section, that was it. He jumped out, I saw him, and then I physically saw on my screen his rubber band as his model just disappeared and went back into Cult and came out again. We're like,
so weird.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that that has to be like the server just like completely taking the client's word for it and then being like, wait. The client said.
The two of them
Like,
have an
all right.
argument. One of them's pulling tug of war and can't decide which one, and then it auto snaps back to most recent point where they both agreed where the conversation was before they started arguing. Agree completely. Yeah. Well, good news. There is a patch coming tonight, overnight. There's a hotfix patch or a balancing changes patch. We're not sure, but whispers in the shadows, I say, are that this is something that's going to help improve the current quality of the game. It's not new skins or paints or anything like that. This is going to be looking at balancing. It's going to be looking at hit registration. It's going to be looking at depth and audio perception. So there's some bits in there that are very exciting for tonight's updates that should be able to smooth the game out even further going into this weekend's ACS, because we have got the finals of the Season 3 Arena Cup Series coming up this weekend. And something I don't think we've seen a whole lot of in that so far, which I'm surprised about, is the one weapon we've not talked about yet that's in the Enforcer tree. Shock horror, it's an Enforcer again, folks. Yes, Enforcer's overpowered. Right. We know. We got it. All right. The full auto Saiga. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that thing with BMGs is disgusting.
Well, either or any of the shotguns are disgusting.
Yeah.
I feel like we can get behind that.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say any of the shotguns. I feel like that one in particular really is taking the cake right now. Like, I've tried the non-full auto Saiga. It doesn't, like, it just gets dwarfed by the full auto version. I've seen some of the Mossberg clips. I've seen people running the pump actions and stuff, which have a more damage over time style, and because of the shorter TTK, you don't need to be full autoing somebody if you are hitting tricks. If I'm going to be really honest with you, I think the one everyone's sleeping on right now is Shrap 10.
I have a friend that runs Vulcan level 5 and KS23.
I have a few
and
clips.
Nothing is funnier than watching people get folded like a paper clip.
It's not just
because
the
he's just like goodbye.
and I've got to say to you, that's one of the things that's kept me really, really entertained in Arena at the moment is the ragdolls from these leg meta arm meta style kits. They are great, and it really is
So good.
entertaining, especially when you shoot someone off the bomb, and they still do this like slightly less exaggerated one now, but they do like a corkscrew off of the bomb and they just sort of teddy bear roll along the side of the site. I'm quite a fan of those, honestly. But as my words are stolen away from me, it does have me feeling a little bit hit with Flechetti because I mean it was previously 50 BMG. And then they reduced the points on Flechette, so people are now keen to salad mix one or two of them in there as well. So now you're not only really
Mhm.
good at flesh damage, but should you come against an enforcer, you've hit him twice from Flechette too, and he's in just the same problem.
Yeah, Piranha's really strong too. Like really strong.
Piranha.
Like the
Yes.
shotguns are just super viable right now on Enforcer if you're good with them. I struggle with them because I typically don't aim the places where you want to aim with them. But yeah, no, they're super strong.
Interesting thoughts. Interesting thoughts. I'm going to be honest with you. Favorite weapon to paint so far? Because the paints are fire. I've got to be honest with you. If I'm there for the battle pass for me, other than the masks, which the final mask at the end of the battle pass is definitely that's an S plus plus tier. They went above and beyond
Yeah.
on that one. The green dark smiley
Yeah.
mask. They didn't just hit the mark. I think they actually hit that one out the park.
So good.
The final skin. I'm going to be honest. In the painting screen, it underwhelmed me drastically. I felt a little bit like it was very bleak. It didn't have the
Mhm.
pop of the red on the grey and the white that I thought it was going to have. But you go into game, and actually in game, it's really clean. Like, it's more clean, actually, than probably any other skin. So I'm
Okay.
hit and miss on it. I think it needs a little bit of pulling up on the tones of the visualization in the paint screen. But I think other than that, I think it absolutely is a 10 out of 10 skin and is totally worth the back end of the battle pass. Um, I want more suppressors, man. I want to see more suppressors be able to be painted. I really do. And
Yeah.
please, for the love of God, give us a
And mags.
season of marksmans and don't give us any paints on the marksman class. Like, please give the TRG or the AXMC some
Yeah.
love so we can paint it. Please, please, please. That's my big one right now is
100%.
let us paint the marksmans because the scout classes, the enforcer classes, even the assault classes to the majority of are having a time with it right now, decorating their guns to no end. If we want to paint a gun in the marksman tree, we have to go for a secondary for an SKS and really put a lot of attachments on it to just colour the scope. Right? It's a little rough. Okay, so let's let's have some love for the marksman tree on the paints, but maybe take the armor away. I'll tell you what, we'll make you an offer, BSG. All right, I'll trade you all of my armor. I'll even lose my armor on my tier 3 mask. Let me wear the mask, but put it level 1 armor or something. That's fine for marksman only, just to balance the tree. I don't mind that, but keep my cool looking face mask. Get rid of my armor plates completely, and give me paintable guns in marksman. That's me happy, and I'll accept the glass cannon perspective from Blake. I think I'm totally down with that, and I would be so on board, honestly.
Yeah, you shouldn't have face shields that are tier 3 on marksman. That's insane. Like with a high ricochet chance. That's actually insane.
What's insane is that and the assault tree is the same. We're not just jumping scout,
Yeah.
we're jumping assault. We're going into the most armor as well as better ammo on the median average of it, and the assault can only match that chest piece. The only way assault gets a slightly more armored scenario at this moment in time is the Cayman that builds fully now, which personally, although we're struggling in the chest area on the assault tree, that Cayman helmet is very good. Very,
But
very
it's
good.
so ugly. It's like negative drip. Oh.
And can I be honest with you? That brings me on to the question I'd like to hear from you guys. Would you like to see painted helmets?
Yeah.
Let me paint
Like
my mascot,
lids?
please.
Yeah.
From what movie is that? Biker Boys?
Whatever
Where they
you
would
like.
collect
Yeah.
each other's lids? That shit was
Exactly.
sick.
Spray decals, flames on the side of a killer, a mask. Yeah, 2 sets of flames here. A cartoon picture of killer over your face, mask, whatever, something like that, right? Just a little bit of flavor for those helmets, I think, is something that really would bring attention to the game. We've accepted and we've addressed the fact that we don't mind bright colors, right? We got all these masks that are yellow or white based backgrounds, so we know players don't care about being sneaky. So let's get a bit spicy with the helmets, is what I'm thinking. Maybe
The
some
only
plugs.
thing that could be bad that I've experienced a couple times is the buttstock of a gun covering up an armband and you
Ooh,
thinking it's a friendly.
gotcha.
Blake,
Yeah.
you even had that clip when you
Yeah,
were
and
streaming the other day. It
I
looked
slowed it down
worse.
and it was a butt stock.
That's what it was. Gotcha.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And that's
And
fully
so I
covering the
ignored it,
side,
thought
so
it
you
was
can't see it.
friendly.
Oh. You ended
Yep.
up dying from it as well, so it's not just a little, like it's fully
Yep.
covered. You had no idea. Interesting.
Yeah.
There is a jacket. I think the later jacket in the battle pass as well has a similar, had a similar issue to it initially, wasn't it? That the armband was majoritarily covered. If you were wearing
Oh, I don't know.
one of the jackets, your armbands kind of like sink
Hmm.
into the jacket at the moment, so it clips down a little bit. But I'm almost 100% sure that they've either fixed that already or it's intended for one of the fixes that they're aware of. Like they've mentioned it in the notes that it is something to address. So,
Hmm.
I mean, look, personally on the armbands, yes, it's frustrating, but I'm so glad we're all red or blue now. That quality of life change
Yeah.
smashed it out of the park, honestly.
They
I
just got to
murdered
give us a
people
mini
so
map and we'll
bad.
be good.
Yeah, thank you. No, talk about it, please, because from a spectator standpoint, and I'll tell you this now from a coaching standpoint, I would love.
From an IGLing standpoint,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. This is your
come
cook, right?
on.
This is
Yeah.
and that you take a screenshot to the guys in your training of that mini map at this point in time, and you go, guys, what's wrong with it? And everybody gets to see what you see as an IGL. That
Yeah.
3D top-down perspective where you are playing a game of chess alongside your actual first-person visual, where you are going, right, I've
Yeah.
got 2 of my guys here, 3 of my guys here, they have pressure there, and the weapon I'm trying to avoid is there. Let me give that to my teammates so they don't have to blow their minds doing trigonometry to figure that out because that's not their forte. Yeah, agree.
Yeah.
I
It's, what were you saying, Luke? Sorry.
I understand, like, for main game stuff like that when it makes sense just for the immersion level, but like this is 5v5 blast gang. Like we should have all of the information that's needed to make us play at the highest level possible.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
thoughts.
And I don't even think it should be exclusive to, or well, I'm not just looking at it from a like competitive standpoint,
Yeah.
kind of like just say you load into a map with, as solo and you're with a bunch of randoms and there's zero comms, or they just choose not to speak the same language as you, and you're just like, okay, who's where? It's like, I don't need to see where the enemy team's at. It would like if there was like a fog of war type thing, that could be cool. But like other games have, I don't really trust BSG with doing that. So I would much rather just know where my teammates are at.
Okay.
But yeah, just having that information alone at a glance can say what you know a bunch of comms would say, like from like 4 separate people, and like
Mm.
or 5 separate people, I guess. But from what I understand, the sentiment around not adding it would be either one, gatekeeping. That's a huge thing in this community that needs to fucking stop. Like people want it, like they're just like, no, I'm an elite gamer. I play Tarkov. It's fucking hardcore. It's like you at a certain point, like you just have to accept that this isn't the same as base game. It's not like it doesn't make it less hardcore to have a mini map of where your teammates are at. That's just a fucking quality of life thing. And you already have a HUD, which makes it less hardcore than Call of Duty and like or Call of Duty hardcore. And like I don't know, it's and then there the other side of it would be no, that covers both of them. Gatekeeping and then less hardcore.
Okay. My interesting thought to you is, and you want a minimap in game, right? You're talking about a minimap in game for your team so that you can see
Yeah.
your teammates. Now, here's a question for you: are you happy to not have that minimap in comp? You're happy to have it in unranked. You're happy to have it in ranked when you're not stacked as a 5 stack, but if you're stacked as a 5, no minimap. You're in comms. Thoughts? Or do you want to
Um
know that for comp too?
yeah, there's no reason not to have it in comp. Like
Okay.
it can be like a like it just feels like very gatekeepy because then it's just like, oh, like, well, then your team has to have perfect comms in order to know exactly where, and like you need to run with the stack. It's like
Hmm.
you want to like, and you want that anyway. Like if you're playing on a comp team, you shouldn't be staring at the mini map. like
Interesting. Okay.
like the mini map should basically be irrelevant besides for the IGL. And like um
So it's more a case of you think the players should be disciplined not to be relying on that minimap, and that the IGL has it as a supporting resource and tool.
Yeah,
That's a good perspective from it, actually, because you want to be looking at the screen. I mean, it's a shooter. You need to be you need to be alert at all times, right? You got to be locked in, ready to nail the guy that swings your corner or whatever.
yeah. Like, in my opinion, fuck hardcore, fuck gatekeeping. Give us a minimap. Like, every other game has it. The only reason not to have it is to gatekeep, in my
Okay.
opinion. And and ego. And yeah, like, it's almost like people want this game to die. Like,
It
and
does
want
feel
people, they want it to
frustrating.
be like an exclusive community of like
Mhm.
hardcore gamers. It's like,
Mhm.
grow up. Like, I'm too
We
old for that shit.
we've got to
Like,
get to this point where it's more inviting now, don't we? And especially as,
yeah.
and this is something I want to talk to you about before we go to the break in a couple of minutes' time, for everybody to sort of re up and get some refreshments and snacks and whatnot for the nitty gritty of the topic we're going to dive into after the break, which is going to be the Twitch Rivals event and how that went down, and sort of thoughts and feelings around surrounding that and the socials. Um, I think as a whole, the scene is trying to grow. And I mean, you guys at Vanguard are looking to try and help represent that with something you've got. Again, we're going to discuss a little bit later on, events, for example, that people have all got their minds on wanting to run to help bring the scene to the front.
Mhm.
I do think that we need to start being a little bit more, uh, less monetarily minded, personally. I think that a lot of tournaments come with this predisposed position that they have to be worth of a value for it to be worth entering them. And I think that teams and players and gamers as a whole need to be a little bit more, soft-hearted, shall we say, a little less stubborn to, well, it's not worth my time. Like, you get on a computer, you get onto a game to immerse yourself with the game to enjoy it. Like,
Mhm.
since when did it have to be for money anymore? And I feel like some of
Yeah.
these events and tournaments that are coming up could do with representing that a bit more, to go alongside the competitive ones that should be worth the money because it's a different level of graft. That makes sense?
Yeah, it's like you're playing the games on the game on those days anyway. Like, what's the big deal? Just
Yes.
play it in a comp setting. Like, to help the scene grow.
I think more events is what's required to make the scene
Yeah.
grow. Like there's because it's cool to play in like the big crazy tournaments every once in a while, but the teams need to have more experience because it's different from playing solo versus playing ranked in a 5 stack versus playing in a competitive scene.
Mhm.
It's like a set of stairs, if you will, and like the only way to get that comp experience is if we have more tournaments that everybody's readily available to enter.
Yeah.
This is it, and it's stepping stones to help keep teams consistent. And you said it
Mhm.
absolutely right, LootGoblin. You look at it almost like one of those pyramids from back in Egyptian times, the big long ones with like 1,000 stairs, and it is. Although it is 1,000 stairs and it's a long task, every step is the same gradient. All you have to do is the same effort over and over and over again, and it's that
Hmm.
repetitiveness that gets you up. By the time you've got to the 1,000th step, it's no longer anywhere near as difficult a chore as it was to take that first step, because you've done it over and over and over again. You got better at that step. You learn how to make it easier for yourself. Well, here, teams, for example, in the NA scene, they had the NA HPL, and then they're waiting around until September if they didn't qualify high enough for the next event. And that's a long time between playing
Yeah.
competitively in the environment and playing competitively in the environment. And I'm sure you can tell us and attest to it, Blake, but as much as scrim practices you can do, as many teams as you can reach out to on a weekly basis and scrim to the top standards, it doesn't represent the same as competitive play. It still does not fully give you a taste of what you actually get on game day, does it?
Yeah, no, like, there's definitely like a level of nerves that you can get on game day, and like, yeah, just pressure in general. But like, also in scrims, you should be scrimming to practice. You
Hmm.
shouldn't be scrimming to win. You should never be scrimming to win. Like, that shit's fucking cringe. And like, you should be like experimenting and trying new stuff, or like just be like, okay, like, our A take isn't that great. Let's run it a few times and then we can figure out where those kinks are. Like, oh, our B take's weak. Like, we'll run 1A to keep them honest, because most teams, spoiler alert, play to win in scrims and will 5 stack sites and shit. Um and which is cringe. And it's just like, okay, we're gonna go A once and then go B just to keep them honest or whatever. And I don't know,
it's it's right.
so that's why it's different than game day, because like game day, you're playing to win. You're playing to bring all those tricks that you acquired during scrims and then bring them into one. Like you're there to like mix it up and to whatever. But and yeah,
I'd like to give you something here.
that's why having events is nice.
And I'd like to offer something to the entirety of the NA captains that are listening right now. A procedure that was brought to me by an EU captain as to how to go about a scrim actually is something that I think could be really valuable for every team. Just sort of gentleman's handshaking on that it's a good way to go about organising a scrim. I got reached out to by a captain from the EU team. I won't actually name them in this because I've not asked the permission to sort of drop them in, I guess. But their approach was, "Hi, would you to scrim in about half an hour's time? Do you want to meet up for 10 minutes before and discuss the objectives of the scrim for each of the two teams?"
Yeah,
that is a
that's
great
really
shout
good to do.
because, and I want to express to any American team out there, if you are scrimming each other, allow the spectators that are asking to come in. The only people that are coming in to spectate these teams are coaches, okay? And they are there to help their team develop. I'm going to go down Blake's line of thinking, all right? And I'm not one to point fingers and start firing smoking barrels at people, all right? But if you think I'm coming in as a coach or any other coach is coming in as a coach to screen share, give enemy positioning, or get an advantage over you in a scrim to beat you, you cringe, all right? And I don't like using the word cringe, okay? I'm not there to be watching your team. I'm sorry I didn't see your sick 4-piece you got when my team got folded by you. I was looking at my team's positioning and how they're executing the strategy and their comms. I'm not here to bring your team down, nor am I here to get an unfair advantage. But from my perspective as a coach, I'd like to speak to my team and I'd like them to do a certain thing. So that scrim was approached me like that. We said we would like to play the A site. We want to play the A site continuously because our two smokes are off. We want to get those smokes executed properly. We want you to put as much pressure on us as possible on the A side, but don't just 5-man run it through curtains and generator. And they said, that's fine. We'll play a solid default, a 2-3 split, but we'll overstack the A site every time with 3 people so that it is pressured and you are struggling. And that was just a good agreement going into it, yeah? They asked us on their attacking side. They wanted to hit B a lot. They wanted us to give them 2 rounds of retake before actually pressuring that B site because they wanted to get the bomb down, the execution good first of all, and then their post-plant positions, and then they wanted us to test them getting it to that position. And we agreed. And it ended up being a really beneficial scrim for both teams because each team was set on working on their own goals and nobody's emotions got involved because nobody gave a shit what the score was at the end of it because it wasn't the point.
Yeah, that's the scoreline's never the point. And like, it's just like, well, was there improvement? That's the only goal. Like, if you're improving, you're doing well in scrims. And like, fucking, I feel like that's a reason why a lot of teams are having like a Div 2 team now to have those in-house scrims and be able to have spectators and not leak their strats as if they're that fucking extraordinary. Like, it's like, bro,
this is
like I can hear you. I can hear what you're doing. The maps are tiny.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
What do you mean?
It's like it's not telegraphed. You take 2 footsteps, and this is something that a lot of people like get really wound up about in ranked games. That 14-degree pivot that makes more noise than any other audio cue in the world, despite how gradual you turn that 1 degree that your model decides in client, that's when you give them the audio cue, and it is noisy. You don't need to have done anything other than move your mouse a fraction, and you've given away your positioning entirely, and people are like, how does he know where I am, man? I don't know, brother. Your ADHD got the better of you and you were itching. Trust me, as a man of experience, I know. I do it many a time myself. It is easy enough to do. But it is...
I'm just constantly checking my mag.
Exactly. Like, that's it. I have a guy that toggles. He's a full auto toggler. You can hear his keyboard rattling in his mic sometimes.
I unbound that because I was doing that.
Do you have any triggers, Luke? Do you have any rapid taps to keep your gamer mode in?
No, I usually die too soon for me to do anything. No. I have a habit of like, so I know that I'm not bad in Tarkov or Arena, but like I'm not upper echelon level. I'm underneath no dissolutions. So my big thing is I try to sit in off positions or in front. Like I try to be sneaky about it. I don't need to worry about if I can hit my shots faster than you. If you're just, if I'm shooting you right in the cheeks, it is what it is. Yeah. But like there'll be a lot of times I'll be holding an angle, and like you said, I'll just be like, "What's to my left slightly?" And I'm like, "Oh, not good."
Not good at all. Yeah. No.
Well, we have the disadvantage of being old, Loot, And
That's facts.
yeah,
Homemade
but
hands.
yeah, and like I don't consider myself like a like top like top tier player. Like I think I'm good, and I think about the game in a good way, and I think that's how I'm able to compete. Like if you see me in HPL, I'm a fucking rat. I'm a rat that knows how to throw nades, and um, which is what it is, you know. Like it has its advantages, but like getting a pick can completely change around. Like getting like a single like cue of audio, it's just like, okay, they're here, we need to adjust this, we need to swap in like whatever. And I don't know.
I'm gonna
I
take the moment now to
Yeah.
break this actually because we're coming close on
Okay.
time to go and get a breather and give you guys also a rest. We're gonna spice up life for the chat before we go for a break though. Okay, so I'm gonna ask the both of you first, and then we'll ask the chat to give us their thoughts whilst we're away in the break. So, Blake, are you a top 10 NA player? Do you think?
No.
LootGoblin, is Blake a top 10 NA player? Do you think?
Absolutely, I think he is. That's not just me
Interesting.
being biased. Blake's
Oh
nasty, and
god.
like the times that we've scrimmed where I've been on our secondary team, like me and him, like especially on Bay 5, it's we were battling it out mid, and this dude is always like 4 steps ahead of me. I'm like, oh, I'll be sneaky and go through the smoke, and then Blake's just like, what's up, little bro? Bow, you're dead. He's a good player.
I'm with you actually. I do think you're one of the top 10 players of the NA scene, but I think it's not, and no disrespect meant out here. You're not one of the gunners, all right? You're not the next
Oh yeah,
I'm going to
no.
whip it shit. You
Absolutely not.
have it here for me in the IGL sense and the overlaying like the chess game that you play. And like Loot said, Loot attested to it really well. You were probably one of the stronger mid control players in the NA scene, I think. Arguably, to your next closest competitor, whether he be above or below you in this one, is the mustache in chat that's yapping at the moment, too. Yeah, Mr. Main Midman Trevi, all right? I'm going to be honest with
Oh
you.
yeah, Trevi's a fucking menace, man.
Yep, the two of you
I
in
hate
mid.
Like
Steven.
him and Dev are like my favorite to fight in mid. Just because
Ooh.
like yeah, yeah. Trevi will full sprint, start creep walking, and then like fucking tuck into a corner, and then uh I am just like, I'm pretty sure he's here. I'm next to positive that he's right here. And then I like get just enough to like see where he's at, and then I'm like, no, I think I cleared out enough. Clear out another angle, and I get shot in the back of the head. It's like, all right,
Nice.
dude,
Yep,
fucking chill.
yep, absolutely right. So,
And then Dev will just wide swing you while spraying. It's just like, okay, I'm dog shit.
so that's it.
I
So,
actually
so
just got fucking pissed on.
don't wide swing Dev. And when you're playing against Trevi, make sure you double checked every nook and cranny. It's not double tap, it's double check. So you're going to check the left and then check the
Yeah.
left again and make sure your back's not exposed from it. Absolutely. So we'll leave it with you, chat. What do you think? Is BlakeDahlia a top 10 NA player? All right, that's going to be the topic of talk in the chat whilst we go for a break. We're only going to be gone for about 5 to 10 minutes, folks, but we're going to go and quickly give these guys a chance to breathe, go up and have a smoke, go to the bathroom, grab a glass of water, whatever it is they feel they're fancy at the time with those 10 minutes. And also so you guys can have a breather because unlike me, who was able to yap without any form of a disturbance from my lung capacity being completely infinite, you guys might need a re-up. So, with all the biggest love from us on the desk, correct? Loot and BlakeDahlia, the three of us will be back in just under 10 minutes. Thanks for joining us so far, and we'll see you on the next half.
Sure.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Welcome to Arena podcast. This is episode 5, and this is the Vanguard. That's right, these guys are the swords and shields that stand on the front line of defense for being able to build up this amazing environment that we're trying to create for Welcome to Arena. Not just only here on the podcast joining me tonight, but also the arena scene as a whole. Okay, Vanguard getting involved with a Div 1 team. There's also a Div 2 team on the cook, and many other things that they're looking to do to try and help expand the scene. So thankfully, we've been able to yake them with the fishing rod away from their busy schedules, and we've got both BlakeDahlia and LootGoblin joining us here tonight to be able to entertain you guys and talk about some of the hot topics that's going on inside of the arena scene at this moment in time. Now, before the break, we had a chat about the weapons, the kit choices, the drip, the battle pass, and all the things that I think's really put a lot of smiles on our faces recently. Now, after the break, chat, it's time to lock in a little bit, and it's time to get a little bit salty and serious, because we're going to talk about Twitch rivals, and there's a couple of topics to talk about here that might get just a little bit heated, all right? So I want everybody to understand and preface this in advance. We are discussing open opinions here on a table so that people can understand exactly how we feel. We would like everybody to understand that this is going to be a topic where everyone's going to be open and honest, all right? Which means some feelings might get hurt. Well, welcome to 2025, bitches. It's time to grow a spine. I'm going to be genuinely honest with you right now. Something that really could do with striking the Tarkov community as a whole is just a little bit of maturity. Being able to handle a little bit of banter and abuse and just take it on the chin and fly with it. So, we're going to talk about it. I really enjoyed Twitch Rivals personally. I enjoyed the people that played in it for the majority of it, and I enjoyed the fact that people were given opportunities that represent the arena scene extremely well. I was very proud for the likes of Trevi and company, others that follow along there, that got to show up and show out on Twitch Rivals, who deserve their spot as what I would consider, without the purple name, an ambassador for the arena scene. People that go out there, compete day in, day out, both competitively and in their individual stream, and are interlocked with those socials to give the community responses to the questions they're asking daily. I know that the likes of Blake, the likes of Loot, the likes of Trevi, and many others in the NA scene are always hot on socials when people are asking questions. What do you think to the new gun build? I've seen you've just posted about completing the battle pass. What about this, this, and this? All right? The guys are always down to talk about it, to promote the game in the right way. Sometimes things get promoted in the wrong way. And I'm going to be honest with you, something that really, really, really riled me about Twitch Rivals was the confusion and the grumbles about who represented the arena scene and what right they had to do so. Firstly, I'd like to start off by saying that nobody has the right to do so. It doesn't go down to a set of you people, okay? I don't care whether you're an Escape from Tarkov arena streamer or whether you are a content creator for Escape from Tarkov, whether you are, sorry, respectfully to BlakeDahlia and Luke below me, or the likes of a Trey, or many other names that could be dropped on there, a Landmark, for example, okay? I don't care who you are. Not one of you has any more right to that position than anybody else other than how you conduct yourself regarding Escape from Tarkov arena. When it comes down to it, we are represented, respected, and sought after as individuals within what we do in content creation for how we present ourselves. And to not be held accountable for presenting yourself in a poor way when trying to help an environment grow is to be cringe, to keep it in theme with tonight's podcast. So, let's talk about it. Compliments and comments made. One specifically was, I think that most content creators should be promoting this game. I don't think Escape from Tarkov arena players should be playing it. I think that people that make content day in, day out for this game should be playing and representing the tournament to bring in more tournament players to the player base. Well, one of those people that you are liking to promote from that kind of environment, quote unquote, why would I want to promote this game? It's shit. This is the people you are recommending to promote the game. I don't understand how that's a mindset that can be held when you have people in the arena scene that have such a more positive mindset to it. We talk about stuff that's frustrating in the game. We have tonight discussed the Masker kit, where we are very, very much, although it is a giggle, it is a problem, and it does need addressing, I think. And I think we're all on a similar mindset in the community about that right now. But it's handled in the right way. We're having an open conversation about it now. So let's talk. Thoughts on Twitch Rivals, guys? Who wants to go first?
I have a lot of thoughts on Twitch Rivals, so I don't know if you have, or how you're feeling about it, Loot. If you have less to say than I do, and you want to go first,
Go. I mean, you're the
okay.
You're in the scene. I have my own opinions on it, but you go first.
So, from what I've seen, well, I agree with what you're saying. Like, I think that it should be people who are there to promote the game. The whole point of Twitch Rivals is to promote the game. Battle State Games contacts Twitch to promote the game. Like, that's it. That's all, the whole point of the whole fucking thing. And like, at its core. And like, inviting people, like, not even having to have them apply or anything like that, inviting people who have time and time again like talked shit about the game. It's like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing here? None of us want you here. And like, your viewers are annoyed that you're playing it, and they're just like regurgitating everything that you're saying. And it's just like, what are you doing? And like, talking about Trey, of course. um but I mean, there was other people too, but like, and I'm not trying to like hate on Trey. Like, he was mainly salty because he died in the game. Like, he would die to like whatever and then get pissed. And that is what it is. Like, I understand that. I mauled, I call people names, and like, leave it there. I'm not like DMing them just like, you're a fucking loser, I fucking hate you, like, type thing. Like, I grew up playing hockey in Detroit. Like, I talk shit. That's just what I fucking do. And uh, like, so I 100% get it. But malding and like whatever in a comp or in a tournament that is supposed to promote the game, it's just like, dude, grow up. Like, you're taking it outside of the game, and like, multiple people that were in his stack were taking it outside of the game. And like, me and Tamaga were duo queuing, just like, I was streaming and we ran into them. And I wish I didn't go back in the VOD. Like, I was stoked to play against them because like, like, they're staples in the community, in the Tarkov community. And like, it just like, it honestly broke my heart to like hear the amount of shit that they were talking, because it was like past the game. Like, it was way past that. And like, it was way past competitive, and it was way past like whatever. Like, it was just them being bad at the game, making excuses, and like, um yeah, it was mainly just that shit for an extended period of time past the game. Like, they were way out of the game. As, I don't know, just fucking
What
sucked.
what frustrates me, and I want to talk about something that was mentioned in the chat that I think is huge, and I want to look at it from perspective of this. All right, I can stand or sit in my chair and I can make comments about this as a commentator. I don't go out there and play professionally. I mean, God forbid, there's going to be footage of me in the semi-pro league soon that people are going to be able to rinse me for and back chat me with that kind of an argument. For the time being, though, I don't try and claim to be anything special. But for me, I sit and watch a lot of the game, including some of these content creators. Okay, before Arena became a big thing, I didn't just start immersing with Tarkov before this. I have over 10,000 hours in base game myself, so I'm actually relatively a veteran when it comes to being involved with Tarkov for its longevity, shall we say. I know of Trey, I know of Landmark, I don't know them personally, I've never interacted directly with them, but they are exceptionally better gamers than I am. However, the footage and the clips that I saw of comments about people's groceries and just it's not even game relevant, the abuse that's
Yeah,
coming out whilst
exactly.
they're playing against people, and they're playing worse because they're spending more time trying to micromanage using the VoIP button than they are actually playing mechanically. And what frustrates me is the more they're talking, the more I actually don't think they're as skilled as they are,
Yeah.
because it sees them playing worse. And the thing that really frustrates me is I don't care about people's opinions and getting salty in a game because it's a natural thing. Everybody has a different level of how you react to not winning a game. It's a gamer thing. I'm even kind of happy for people to, sorry, to be calling people out on the groceries and all that kind of level of stuff. That's fine. But if you're streaming the game to people and you make a living off of this job, and you are physically earning an income off of content from what you are shit talking about, then you're just as bad as somebody that, for example, says they are fat but then complains about not going to the gym and doesn't do anything about it. You're literally somebody who works in a job 9 to 5 in a corner shop that is bored, senseless, and depressed, but doesn't go and apply for other jobs in different corner shops with better environments. It's like, you're okay to talk bad about the environment that's paying your income, but you're not willing to go and do something about it. I don't mind the criticism. I don't mind the comments. I just want to see something with it that's directive or constructive on top of it, yeah? I don't want to support the game because it's shit. The problem is X, Y, Z. If this was fixed, I might change my mind. Instead of just the game is shit.
Yeah.
Hot take. Sorry, I just want feedback.
Yeah, I don't know. The shit talk was just weird because, like, when I shit talk, I'll call people pussies and shit, like typical gamer shit, just typical competitive shit, and like it's not even just like limited to gamers. It's just being competitive. Like sometimes you just have to like psych yourself up and like say or like and be like, Dave, this guy's a fucking pussy. Like I fucking got him just to psych yourself up. Like just like literally like and you don't mean that. Like,
I'll give you a good
well,
one.
I guess you could, but like, I don't know. I don't mean that.
You know Mr. Hot Sauce, our the resident yapper with the mustache, okay? I don't know if I've told you guys about this, but Hort taught me a very, very, very crucial life lesson, okay? I used to think that teabagging people was toxic. I had this mindset that the salty frustration in me, that particularly was one of the ones that definitely triggered me. It had my mindset for the time being. The Hort told me a trick. He's like, no, I don't mind teabagging. I don't think it's toxic. And he goes, I'll go back and I'll bag them twice as hard. And I'm like, no, but you're toxic. And he's like, no, you're toxic. And I say, hey, hold up a minute. This is getting a little bit like back and forth. He's like, no, you got to hear me out. So I heard him out. He's like, if this guy comes and bags me and then I kill him and I bag him back, I'm now in his head. That's not because he's got the better of me. It's like, yeah, okay. Now I'm going to kill you. Now I'm going to lean forward in my gamer chair and I'm going to kill you again. And I'm kill you again, and I'm going to kill you again and again and again until you stop getting mad about the pixels. And that was his point, is the guy comes into his chat, and Hort says to him, hey man, I thought it was just some friendly banter. Why we're getting angry over pixels? It's aggressive CPR. I'm just testing the metal. And then really, 99% of the chance of the time, I've seen it, these people turn in Hort's chat. They go from being aggressive to getting it, right? Because he's bagging them back. And you can't argue with it because you've just been played with the same volatility. And I wanted to talk about Hort for a second, actually, because he put a point on Rivals that we missed in the chat that I wanted to come back to. So if we want the community to grow, it's good to get other big names involved and other big names from other titles. For example, there were Apex mains and Overwatch mains that were watching it that absolutely loved the environment and the experience. There was Overwatch players and Apex players, I think there was a couple of them, right, that were captains on teams that had nothing to do with Tarkov, but came across and really enjoyed playing it. I mean, for Christ's sake, J3's team is an entire team of Overwatch 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
And they won. And they, honestly, they presented better than some of the streamers that we bring from our own home turf. Like, really?
Yeah.
Is that where we're at right now? Because that entitlement I spoke about at the beginning of this segment, you just lost any entitlement right there if you've got a team that has nothing to do with Tarkov and comes in and represents your game better than you. You're letting the ball down.
Because they're coming at it from the perspective of it's a lesser Tarkov. Because I noticed a lot of what they were saying and stuff, like when they were shit talking me, and one of them who was in the stack that played on their Twitch Rivals team, like I've met him in person. Like we had multiple conversations. I thought we were chill, and a lot of the stuff that they were saying was very like, what are you still doing on this game? Like fucking like, why are we playing against people who like are like trying to make it in a competitive scene in a dead game type shit? Like, it's like, bro, fuck you. Like honestly, fuck you. Like most of the shit talk was like that type of stuff, like against me at least. And it's just like, I shot you better than you shot me. Like, get better at shooting in the fucking game. Like, you're not as good as you think you are. And like, that's the bottom line.
I don't mind them talking about their own work ethics. But to come at you and be like, why are you continuing to do what you're doing with a dead game? I'm sorry, what you're doing regardless is none of their business. Like, that's absolutely fine. And I'm with you. And that's where I get frustrated at it, is why are they coming at you in a game, in a ranked game for it? Like, if you want to express
they're playing the game that I play. Exactly. That's like going to a CS game and be like, why are people still playing this after 20 years? It's like, because they like the game.
And here's
you dumb fuck.
That. How about me and you went into a base game raid, Whereas, like, for example, Trey, Hutch, Landmark, that team, for example, that's their home territory, right? That would be theirs compared to ours. We would be out of our depth there, and
Mhm.
we're in their home court. What if I started running around their raids in the bottom of D2, and I'm like, oh, I'm just sitting camping in D2. It's like, why are you camping D2? Oh, because the game's terrible. It's full of cheaters, bro. Like, I'm not doing them
Yeah.
any good, but I don't go sit out and do that. You know, when you don't see any of the arena players out there bringing down the content creators' environment. You don't see them out there causing them problems. In fact, if anything, the thing that could be deemed most frustrating about the environment is a stank rat-like gameplay. I love it, by the way. Rats on top all the way, but that is the, extract camping for the longest time was deemed unsportsmanlike conduct, right? It was deemed a no-go zone. And he popularized it, but he popularized it in the right way. Instead of being like, haha, you guys are all shit, stuff like that, it'd be like, shit on nerd. Because he's just open an angle that you never thought about, which is the best way to be. And I think that kind of perspective to things could bring a better light to it. I'm going to be honest with you. I know, Blake. I know it's frustrating. I can see go on, spill the beans. What is that? Because that's an expression right there.
No, I don't know. The reason I stopped playing Tarkov was because that playstyle got popularized. Well, it got popularized before I stopped playing, but like when they added inertia, there was almost zero way to combat that. Like I've like almost 6,000 hours on base game pre-inertia.
Wow.
And so like I've been playing Tarkov for a fucking minute, and like I don't know, like once they had inertia, I just stopped being able to like have or like I just stopped having options for dealing with stuff like that, and like being able to just like I don't know. It just made the game way less fun for me.
Agreed. Grenade launchers do a good job of fixing that, don't they? Though. Sorry, go on, Luke.
So I used to have the mindset of like extract camping was like just some real degenerate shit. General Sam, now, love his Brandon content. He had a very good point.
Yep.
At what point in time is that extract some sacred holy ground? Now, inertia, not a huge fan of that thing either. I played right after the healing animations came in. And he's like, you're walking around on ice when it first got introduced. But it's like, unless you are in that exit loading screen, you're free game. And just because you drop your guard down because I'm at the exit, unfortunately, it sucks. I mean, if you look at it, so everybody preaches about realism, right? Tarkov's all about realism. Show of hands of who's going to run around thicker than a Snickers with fucking guns and everything else and all your stuff out. No, you're going to be hiding in a corner waiting for some sap to walk in front of you and then blow them away. Like, that's just, it is what it is. It's the game style that got popularized. I mean, I hate getting shot in my ankles too, but like, it is what it is.
Here's an unpopular opinion. Do you want some salt? Oh, I tell you what. Yeah, if it's on that point, go first, and then I'm gonna drop a bomb on you that I think you guys will like.
Well, I just want to say real quick. I stopped playing when they added inertia, like during the wipe that they added inertia, and like I probably have like less than 100 hours after inertia. So like seeing the evolution of inertia and where it's at now, I didn't really get to experience that. Like, I know that it got better. Like I play arena, but like I'm also not overweight in arena. But fucking yeah, the first iteration of inertia was unplayable in my opinion, and it put a sour taste in my mouth for base game. And I was just like, honestly, the only way I'll come back to playing arena or playing Tarkov is when they add arena, and then they added arena.
Here's a question for you on that, and I think you've actually just unintentionally smoother segued than any I could have solidly stood up in front of this one. So how about this then, sir? Would you argue then that before inertia, you were one of the kind of players that would load up a map and just, kind of go to a hotspot to PvP people? You'd load up, and you'd run raids back to you'd maybe factory for 2 hours straight, just chunky monkey, just running people down, or whatever your favorite map was, for example, right? You went in for the PvP, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in agreement then with me that the PvP players have moved to arena, and that the PvP but slower playstyle players, the ones that want the more immersion, the more mil sim style gameplay rather than the fancy gameplay, I don't want to necessarily say PvE, because I really have seen a drastic gap in those players. And I could take two from my community, Blake, that like one that doesn't play Arena at all, but is exceptionally a good base game PvP, can't stand the concept of PvE. In fact, he doesn't play PvE at all, versus somebody who only plays PvE and is what I would class as a PvE warrior, like a PvE demon only, but won't touch PvP because they just don't want to mess with the cheaters side of thing, or whatever the concept may be as to why they're not playing base game. There is a big gap between that. I have seen it, but it's not as prevalent in the upper levels of skill. I think when it comes to skilled gamers, you are either a run and gun demon or you are a slow tempered playstyle and you play with your brain. Here's a meme, all right? And I'm going to meme on the expense of people at Twitch Rivals because apparently they didn't care about our expense whilst BMing our game. So do you wonder that maybe the base game's got a little bit ratty and that these really, really highly skilled streamers might have just, gotten a little bit washed because they've had to play such a slow game for a little while that when they come into Arena, they just can't hack the pace anymore?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Feels a
Like,
bit
I
salty to
surprised
say, but it's
Hutch
true,
with the
right?
wiggle. Like, you don't know about the wiggle?
Base gamers be struggling. I
hell?
guess the environment not prepping these PMCs for the deaths of Arena. I guess got to get more reps in the Arena in. I don't know what to say on that one, but honestly, yeah, just it definitely does feel like the changing environment for both scenes. It definitely splits the two now. Like, you can't just be an Arena and a base game player combined as one with the same play style. You have to have a different skill set for each to be able to succeed in both, I think.
Two different worlds.
Yes. And
Same
speaking
universe.
of two different worlds, let's talk
Probably
about
send me the
that.
clip.
The new push for Escape from Tarkov Arena and its development and seeing success in the forward coming years for it. Arena, base game, big dividing brick wall, please. I would love to see the game being developed with a separate mindset, and I really think that we've got to let go of this. It has to be here and here. Camos, paints, get them over. I'm not saying take that out. What I'm saying is when it comes to developing patches, bullets, stats, and kit-specific content, let's balance Arena separately to balance in the base game. Because some influential decisions from base game bleed over to Arena and change the meta and vice versa. And I actually think that that would help alleviate a lot of the frustration from the content creators because there's that constant going argument, right? Oh, why just do this for us? You're doing it for just Arena players. Or why just do this for us? You're doing it for just base game players, right? There's this constant back and forth that it's affecting both worlds. Let's have it separate, and I think we solve a lot of the issues.
I can get behind that.
I agree. I like that they're both of the same universe. So when Arena first got introduced, or maybe it was last wipe. So I have almost just over 8,000 hours in main game, and I'm not like some crazy chat. I've played a lot. Goblin spent a lot of time on main game, and I do fairly well at the start of wipes. I could not stand when I degen and blow through quests. Somebody goes and plays 2 weeks on Arena. They're twice my level, infinite cash. That needs to not transfer. Transferring GP coins to buy from Reth, fine. Money, meh, whatever, fine. But like the skills and leveling, they've got to be separate. There's no reason because the faster paced games, like you can play 4 hours worth of Arena, and it might be an hour and a half worth of games on Tarkov, and it just puts you at such a different pace.
They did nerf that. Tasking is faster to level now than just spamming Arena. Like with the last wipe, they changed it.
So they hit it with a double penalty as well now because tasking is the better way to progress your experience. But tasking actually does less for your stats because of how you actually play the base game comparative to what you get for Arena. So it kind of broke it twice. You get more experience from playing base game now, but you also generate your skills less in the process of doing it. So you have a trade-off. You either want to play Arena and get the skill development that you get from being in that high-intense scenario of gunfights all the time, and go at a slightly less experience level pace, or you go to base game, you hit your tasks until you hit like 10 to 15 levels, and then you hop onto Arena and you grind from there. So I think there's probably still a balancing peak in that. I don't mind the transferal, and I'm with you. Money, good. GP coins, good. What do you think about the cases going from Arena to base game right now? Because I've seen a comment from Trevi. Give me Arena cases to open like Counter-Strike. MTXs so we can open up cool things. I think I'm going to be honest with you before I see that in the game. I want to see more variety of aesthetics first. I want to see the boxes come in and I'm paying $50 for a roll of 3 potential good things and then a whole load of chaff to fill it. I want them to take some time, make the rewards worthwhile, and then make the cases worth the price. That's all I want to see. That would be a good idea,
Yeah.
personally.
Do you
Yeah,
mean
honestly,
cases
or
like
sorry.
paid for skin cases? Is that what he was referring to?
I don't know whether it's necessarily skin cases. So I think it's got like a similar concept to the Counter-Strike ones where you'd pull a knife with a skin on it or a gun with a skin on it. Or I'll be honest with you, I've
Oh,
never
gotcha,
played a single game of Counter-Strike. But the idea of a loot crate, okay? I mean, they've been prevalent in all battle
Yeah.
passes, haven't they? Like Overwatch has your loot boxes, your warframes, all that kind of stuff. So that
Mhm.
concept, I'm guessing, whether it be an in-game currency one or a spendable currency, either or. And I think I'll ask you another question actually, real quickly. How do you guys feel about spending money on the game for in-game stuff? We asked the Aquila guys, yes, a load of guys actually so far on the podcast. Everyone so far has been like, yeah, give me skins, I'll pay for it. Give me the battle pass, I'll pay for it. What's the thought?
Yeah. I think that they should make the game either $10 or free, or $15 to free if they are going to make it so you have to pay for the battle pass.
Okay.
They could generate so much more revenue from battle pass if they make it $10 and they actually put content in it that people would want. Like, that's easy. That's an easy dub. I don't understand the current setup of the battle pass and why it skips levels.
Right.
I think it was just because they wanted to have 150 levels, and so they, or no, because because they didn't have enough content for 150, so they had it skip them. I don't know. I don't. If you level up, you should get something. Like, whether it's like something dumb or whatever, you can throw some bullshit in there, like GP coins, whatever, fill up those like filler slots with that stuff. But like, I don't know, having it like skip levels was weird. But I 100% would pay $10 for a battle pass easy.
I think that's
So
fair. Go on, Luke.
LootGoblin is father of 5, and my pockets ain't deep. So I like the idea of a free battle pass. I get where it would be very monetization wise friendly for BSG. I would like to see them make Arena free and then have like what CS:GO does or CS:GO did, where you had like pay like $10 or $15 for Prime matchmaking kind of thing, because I think that would increase the base of players. And then if they do battle passes, I mean, I don't see why they couldn't do. I think a lot of games do like a free version and also a premium battle pass.
I feel like there's not big
there's a
enough
lot of
player
options.
base to do that though.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm just having a
Yeah,
look
I guess
real
you could
quickly.
just turn off the Prime matchmaking. But also with Prime, like they didn't add that until like a while into Go.
Mhm.
Like you used to have to pay for CS:GO. And then they added Prime as like an option, like, and just made the game free. Which honestly saved the game. But yeah. Well,
I think
Face It and ESEA saved the game, but that's a different topic.
I'd like to see more skins that you could buy as well. That was like I'm a big urban responder set.
Okay.
I love that. As soon as I could pay $12 and just have it permanently, there's my credit card immediately. I think stuff like
You
that
just
would be
insta-pay.
yeah. It
Really?
it would be yeah. I mean, I don't have to ever worry about spending 11 million game. I don't have to worry about hitting level 55. I just have it whenever. There's no reason to not have
Interesting.
every skin buyable for cash. It would be I think a viable way to bring in some revenue for.
Yeah, like the
Ooh.
flannel, rather than having to do what textile 2 and
Mhm.
47 or
Mhm.
whatever. I can't remember, but something along those lines. And yeah, I want the flannel. Why do bears get all the cool flannels?
Exactly.
Interesting. I agree, personally. I don't have. I went USEC this time around, and I'm actually really regretting going USEC, and I am like genuinely tempted to change it to a bear even now. Like if it was possible, I'd be going and I'd be changing it to a bear just so I can have the drip personally, because I actually think it's really good. The flip side to that is it's actually sad for me to see that because the USEC Night Patrol Bomber, which is a green hoodie with the sleeves cuffs rolled halfway, but it has a hood on it as well. It's like a really nice thick green. It's designed to be the same color as the night vision GAP NVG green is. So when you're wearing it through night vision, you're less visible. It's actually a really cool level 55 aesthetic that you can get from Ragman, but it's really deep down the tree to pay for, and it's like a 5 mil jacket, but it's really cool. That one is USEC only, and that's where I'm a bit upset because I like that, but I also like the bear t-shirt, and I would like to be able to wear both in the same tree. Thoughts? Do we need USEC and bear crossover clothing, or do we just need a USEC and a bear patched version of the same item?
They need to make it so I can buy the flannel, because I would do that. And then because I'm not going to grind base game for it, I'm just not. Also, well, but then again, I like the drip that I have now, like the long sleeve polo.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's hard. But they should make it so you can like have not necessarily like layers, but like have it so you can have a top, gloves, fucking pants, and maybe shoes. I don't know. Like shoes would be kind of weird, but like a lot of the problems that I have with the pants in the game are they come with dumbass shoes. Like they come with Russian sense of style, which is non-existent, some could say. And a hot topic,
Roasted,
but you know,
roasted,
Russians aren't
roasted.
necessarily known for their style. But
You want better creps, you're saying. You need better kicks in the game. You want some Jordans or something like that. Something with a bit of pizzazz. Yeah, you want some flair and style on those kicks, right?
yeah, well, at least let me pick the gloves that are on. You know?
Okay. Yeah, I'd be down for gloves. I actually think gloves are a big one that they're missing out on right now. I think gloves would be a big
Yes.
W on
Ain't
the
no way, bro.
aesthetics.
Flaming Adidas tracksuit. Okay, Russia has the tracksuit. That's it. That's literally it.
What more do you need? You only get to wear one outfit a day, right? You can't wear two at the same time, Blake.
Can we all agree that all of the bear shirts are just different shades of green? That's all that there is.
Oh, some.
That's a bit
Some
roasted.
differences. Not much.
He's pushing it. He's pushing it, chat. He's going into cooking for it. But we are coming towards the end of this week's episode of the podcast, so it's time to talk about a couple of interesting bits and bobs before we do close out for the day. The first one on the topic list is talking about what Vanguard is going to do for you guys in the near future. So, Lutz, I think I'm going to start with you on this one. What is there on the horizon for Vanguard? And I'm going to follow it up. First of all, I'm actually going to put a permit in the Twitch chat for you. All right, Lute? If you've got any links to all of the tournament features, the Twitter page for it, or where signups and stuff are, I'm going to give you that permit in about 30 seconds, so you've got some time to prep them. But now's the time. So, folks, there is some information coming. Luke's going to give you all the details in a moment, but we're going to preload you with some links in the chat, okay? And you should get these up in the meanwhile whilst we're talking about it. It's there. 60 seconds starts now, Luke. Go, go, go. And the idea is, folks...
There's a post on it. Log in. So we're hosting a tournament at the first 2 weekends of May. It's a double bracket, so a winners and losers bracket tournament. Best of one for the matches, just for time constraints. We have 12 teams that are competing. There's 2 Div 2 teams that are going to get showcased, and then some other couple new teams, and obviously a lot of the other main NA teams. Excited to see how it goes. I like putting on tournaments. So ideally, if this format works, the idea is that we're going to roll out more like monthly or bi-monthly tournament style. I wanted to do 16 teams, but there's a lot of moving parts for that, and I don't think we even have 16 teams total. So that maybe future movement. I didn't try to condense it over 2 weekends. So it'll be the first weekend of May will be the first bracket, and then the teams that lose out of that bracket will get put into the second bracket. That'll be the following weekend. Final match will be the winners of each bracket for $500.
Look at that. There you go, chat. And a $500 prize pool as well. So a little bit of a token on the table. Not a small token, nonetheless. A large token at that, on the table to be able to take home. It's a little gesture, right, folks? It's something to sort of show a thank you from the tournament organisation and the group for taking the time to participate in their tournament. They're putting all this hard work into giving you guys a ground to play on. It's nice to say a thank you for turning up and doing so. So, big W's coming in from the Vanguard squad. And like they said, they're going to be showcasing a couple of Div 2 teams. We actually need to re-permit you there, Luke. Sorry, my Nightbot, like I said, he is on a rampage all the time. This guy has zero chill, like literally no chill. You've got another 60 seconds, go for it. But, folks, 2 Div 2 teams to showcase, okay? Which is something akin for you guys that are in the EU side of things to what's coming from the ASPL, the Semi-Pro League, all right? These Div 2 teams are in a similar sort of perspective to that, where they are going to be development teams that are looking to take talented players that maybe haven't played with a team before or had that experience like the Div 1 teams, and to try and train them up to a level where they might actually achieve that goal in the future and get scouted by another team or moved from the Div 2 up to the Div 1 team when players are missing. So get involved by checking out all these socials. You know, Vanguard themselves have put together a Div 2 team, and I know there are a lot of American organizations out there that have a Div 1 team that are interested in starting a development roster as well. So if you're interested and want to get involved, please reach out to people, the likes of LootGoblin, the likes of Blake on the socials. Express your interest. If their team doesn't have a space, they might know of a team that does, and they could probably point you in the right direction. So it's always worth to reach out to someone, even if the first point of contact's not always the best one to go for. So, second link, talk to us. What is this one here? Is that the sign up for the tournament, Luke?
Yeah, that is the Google Forms sign up sheet. I know rosters are going to lock in 2 days, so if you do have a team and you're thinking about entering, put it in. We haven't fully selected all the teams just yet. We're down to the last couple spots, so if you guys are interested, we'd love to see you guys compete.
Yeah, maybe there's an NA outcasts on the horizon to come through. If there's 5 NA players that are interested in playing and you've got a team together, or maybe there's a team from a different scene that might have tuned into the podcast on the odd occasion, all right? So if there's maybe like a Counter-Strike 2 team out there or an Overwatch squad that's interested in having a go, and you want to get involved in that Vanguard tournament, come and have a knock on LootGoblin's door. Either send myself a DM, we'll get you a name to run under, we'll get you applied to the tournament, and should the shoe fit, then we'll get both of them on and we'll bolt you on some ice skates so you can slide on in with the rest of them to compete inside of the arena. In addition to that, there's lots of things going on in your guys' socials, right? So where should people be keeping an eye on for Vanguard team information specifically? And what's the most I guess, important goal for you guys, Blake, as a team going forward this season? What is Vanguard looking for from the Div 1 roster this season?
Just compete. Like, honestly, I have such a good time competing. Um, and like putting like my all into like getting better at like literally anything. Like, I'm a throw myself into whatever type of person, and like I'll do just that. Like, and when I know there's a tournament coming up, it's just like, all right, it's grind time, boys. Let's lock the fuck in. And I don't know. I just expect us to be on a significantly higher level than we've ever shown. And yeah.
Top 14 this season?
For sure.
Oh, no hesitation either. Go on, Luke.
I think our current team roster is the strongest it's ever been. We are, don't be wrong, we just recently got a couple more pickups. We're still ironing everything out, but like, the guys are fucking monsters. Like, the absolute killers. Everybody asks, like, Luke, do you play? No, I got murderers on my team that play. I don't gotta be there. I got people I know I can trust in, and they're absolute gunners.
LootGoblin's cosplaying our favourite main leading man from Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yeah, he doesn't do the dirty work himself. He pulls out the mobile phone and hits in the number of any which one of his slayers he needs to bring to the table to come and absolutely annihilate his enemies. That being the Div 1 squad from the Vanguard team. So, you've heard it here first, folks, from BlakeDahlia, the legend himself. Top 4 team in the NA scene this season. Intentions to succeed by just enjoying the competitive environment. Honestly, probably one of the best mentalities to have going into the comp scene. It's not the biggest scene in the world right now. Yeah, we're not playing for the biggest prize pool in the world right now. And I think we all need to maybe get past that a little bit once in a while. Just realize you got on the computer to have fun. Go and smash some heads. Go and slam some of your buddies. Because, and I'll tell you now, if you took the chance to drop into my stream earlier on today before we did the podcast, we played some hilarious games where we were matched up against and with people that we hadn't queued with intentionally. But it's the best feeling in the world when you run into your friends in the game and you just have a jokes game. It stops being serious.
Yeah.
People are jump shotting each other. People are chasing each other with knives. People are throwing grenades and flashing the teammates. It's a whole hell load of fun. And it's fun because it's good-hearted, light-hearted fun rather than everyone getting salty about, oh, he killed me.
Yeah. The fucking rat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's me 90% of the time. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing there? I'm about to crash out, dude.
Also, on top of that,
yeah.
Oh, go on. Go on. No. If you've got some extra, then.
Well, I was just gonna add on to the, just like having fun and competing and stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure the oldest person in the comp scene, and so like I'm just lucky to fucking be here, like, and be competing. like who's older than me?
Sprit,
Well, in the NA scene,
Spritian.
is he
Is he that old?
How old are you, Blake?
33?
Oh, he's older than you, brother.
Really?
Comfortably.
Shit.
Hey, do you
Damn.
want to know?
he-
Do you want to
he's
know
the
what?
one.
Grandpa.
Do you want to know what's crazy? You know how good Sprit is, yeah? Y'all
Yeah.
are getting dumpstered by a good 40-plus-year-old gamer. He's that good.
Jesus.
Sprit
Shit.
is an
Alright.
absolute demon. I'm pretty sure at this point he's 98 or 99. I'm not sure. I think he's 98,
Grandpa's
as in he's 98 years old. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's like,
Yeah.
he's gonna kill me for this later. He's gonna absolutely rinse me. Right now.
Old man
He's
walking
not.
around with
He's,
fucking cane.
he's not that old. He's not that old. But Sprit, we do love our dear captain Sprit, epic fails captain. But he's not a young gamer. All right, he's not like the whippets of the scene, the 18 to 21-year-olds, the likes of your Foxes or your Stripies in the EU scene, the likes of your Tizzies in the NA scene that's going to be coming in soon as well. You know, the young talents on the rise. These people that are very, very young. But have a lot to give in the future. So, yeah, he's insane for his age, and I'm telling you now, I actually think, Blake, that us on the older end of the spectrum, we're the ones that should be representing the game, relating back to the Twitch Rivals thing, all right? Because we've gone past that. I'm 16 to 24 to 28, and it's all about the PR and the heat. Every bit of exposure is good exposure. We've gotten past the playground antics. Ain't nobody got time for that anymore. Right,
Yeah.
I gotta deal with being a real human. I've got responsibilities I need to do. I need to earn a living. Sorry, but I haven't got time to send you a message back and play checkers board with your emotions. Not interested. We're just gonna log in for this. So, one thing extra to ask about, and this is what I'm curious about: solos, socials, and what you guys do in your individual endeavors. Loot, do you have a Twitch page you'd like to promote?
Yeah, LootGoblin 91 is my main channel.
Beautiful.
stream on.
And I'm going to get all of these chat for you in one single message, all right? So the links to the Vanguard stuff, the sign up post, the individual streams for both Blake and Loot, and of course the Vanguard pages regarding to their team stuff will be posted on the X page shortly after the podcast, along with where you can find the podcast VOD on the YouTube page so that you can watch it later on in the future or go back and check on things if you missed any parts of it or if any of your mates are looking to watch it that didn't catch it live. So don't stress, these links, although they are in the Twitch chat live now, they will be accessible through that X page where I'm going to, after the podcast, post them out for you again. And the same goes. Do you stream often, Luke? Are you a daily streamer, once, twice a week? What's the sort of regularity?
I just hit affiliate. So I used
let's
to do
go.
a lot of streaming back in the day when I could gamble CS:GO skins, but now I basically full-time arena has been streaming. I plan to do it every night after the kids go to bed, so I don't have little gremlins running in and bothering me, but do it over the nighttime.
Legend. Cool. And Blake, same goes for yourself. I'm going to pop you a permit in the chat as well for 60 seconds for you to type in your Twitch link and whatnot, and everything else that you want to pop in there. Because you stream. I know you stream because I frequent dropping by as much as I can because it's some great content to watch. And I'm going to be honest with you, chat. Just like we say about Shelby, all right? He's a real gamer, okay? Blake's not one to hide his emotions either, all right? If it stinks a piss, Blake's going to tell you it stinks a piss on stream. That's actually one of the things that I like dropping by for. If I want to hear a real opinion about some of the things right now, I drop in by a Blake stream, and alongside some great taste in rock music, I get myself blessed with some beautiful opinions too. So honestly,
I can link that as well. I can link my band as
please do. Yeah, please. Anything relating to anything that you do socially, because you play in a band, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about that as well, because I'm a big lover of my music, and it's something that happens outside of Tarkov that people maybe don't know you as well for.
I mean, I've been in a band for over a decade now, at least with this band, but we took a bit of an hiatus, and then just because we were getting old and had other shit going on, and had to call it in a way because we were signed to Hopeless Records, fucking toured nonstop type shit, and but when the time comes, you have to know when to call it. But we've been working on a new album. I think here, let me see. Let me get this link also.
Chat. I
Um,
might be. We might be sending them. We might be sending them a request soon. We might have to reach out to BlakeDahlia's band and see if we can get them to write us an intro tune for the podcast. Get something a little rock and rolly for the intro music. That would be something
well, I
that'd be really fire.
do like 95% writing, so
Ooh,
it
maybe
would be easy to get that done.
we might have to
Yeah,
haggle
yeah.
with them,
We're
chat.
like right now we're at 96,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Damn. Okay, yeah, get that
Like
in
we're
there as
chilling.
well. Right. So, there's another permit in there for you, Blake, just in case you want to post any more in the
Oh
chat.
shit.
But it's up. You've got another 60 seconds because the Nightbot's on a
Let me put
rampage as
that
always.
there,
Yup.
and then let me make sure this link works. Oh,
So, chat, just whilst Blake's
like
cooking that all up
all
for
my
you,
socials are BlakeDahlia.
all of them the same, yeah? Just like it is underneath
yeah.
your portrait today. So, no space, folks. Capital B, capital D if you don't find it with the standard lowercase. All right. Twitch, X, and the link to the band stuff. You're live on Twitch when?
It's been kind of sporadic lately, just because some stuff in my life has kind of just forced me to. But I try to like from like 1 EST until whenever I can, like until my body shuts down,
W. Good comms as well.
depending.
Yeah. Okay. And then to round off the podcast for today, all right, folks, like we said, all of those links I'm going to get from Blake and from Loot just before the end of the podcast. Gents, if you have a second and you want to do that whilst we're yappering away here in that text channel we've got, if you want to post all those links in a little block for me, I'll get them all stacked up for the exposure to the end. But whilst we're doing that, what I'm going to do for you guys and for the folks at home is I'm actually going to refresh everybody with the Arena Cup Series results from Week 1. Because that's what we're going to close the podcast out with. We're going to have a little bit of a chat about Week 1 from the Arena Cup Series, and we're going to get predictions from two of the better minds in the scene with experience behind those decisions. So we're going to speak to LootGoblin and BlakeDahlia about the 6 teams going through to the playoffs, the playoff bracket for Arena Cup Series, and what their predictions might be as to who's going to take it all home. So, without further ado, sliding on over to that slide for the folks at home and for you guys on screen to see, this was the end of the group stages, folks. So Group A finished with XP Academy up 2 wins, 1 draw, 0 losses. Virtus Pro 2 wins, 0 draws and a loss. And Pandemic Apex 1 win, 1 draw and a loss. Actually, top 3 from Group A going through. XP Academy have secured themselves the bye there. We'll go on to explaining that bye in a second when we come to the playoff round. But for Group B for you guys, Sicario, they're the ones that place at the top there with a record of 2 win, 1 draw, 0 losses. Tarkov Help just below them, slightly different on the round difference. Also 2 wins, 1 draw and no losses. Ancient Fighters, 1 win, 0 draws and 2 losses. Will be the third people taking that spot with us saying goodbye to Ancestral and 8 Sins. So before we talk about the playoffs, let's talk about the 2 teams we said goodbye to. Ancestral, I'm going to be honest with you, as good as they were in Season 3 for the EU HPL, and they did upset a few teams that did a very good job of earning that 4th place, that was about as far as it went for them. Not surprising, I think, for anybody watching out of the 8 teams. They were theoretically seeded and ranked the lowest and was the team I expected personally to drop out of that group. The Pandas, it was in their hands, right? Pandemic played well, and Ancestral paid the price for it. And a similar thing for 8 Sins. I mean, 8 Sins' group was the group of death. The 3 teams above them, I don't think anybody in the chat is daft enough to argue that those 3 teams are not stacked in their skill level, or that 8 Sins is out of place at the bottom of that table either.
Yeah. Wait, so you wanted me to give my prediction?
Yeah,
who's
please.
Gonna win?
Well, I'm curious as to your thoughts on Ancestral and 8 Sins going out. Do you think that's what you expected? Did you expect any of the other teams to top the groups? What's the feeling?
Well,
the
looking
general?
at Group A, it kind of made sense for Ancestral. Like there are, I mean, being 4th place in that group, like it is what it is. Like you know, like that's not like any sort of shade or anything like that. Like it's just that was a stacked group. I mean, both groups are stacked. There are like some of the best players in the world, if not the best players in the world. And yeah, so I'm not surprised. I feel like it could have gone anyway. I'm surprised that Panderic was 3rd.
Okay.
Because well, but I also like I immensely respect most of them as players, and like yeah.
Gotcha. 100%. 100%. No, it's a good shout.
No,
Loot, any...
I guess, yeah, with 8 sins, like, I do respect a lot of them as players. So I don't know. But dude, it is what it is. Like, those are stacked fucking rosters on every fucking team. Like, there's no shame in coming in fourth.
I want to put that one on the table for the folks at home. You hear how difficult that is for Blake to make a decision on this. I haven't given him this information in advance. I wanted to catch them both on the spot and see what their instinctual reaction is to it, because it normally tends to give the most honest answer rather than a politically prepared one. So interesting. But the reason the decision is difficult is exactly like Blake said. All 8 teams across the 2 groups, the 4 teams in each group, are extremely strong. Like, this is the 4 best in Europe and the 4 best in the CIS region right now, and I think the scores showed it. So with that being said, I'm just going to drop down a little bit to the brackets and just show you those brackets now. So with what you see on screen, Sicario and XPA have the bye. Virtus Pro and Ancient Fighters will be playing first. Tarkov Help and Pandemic Apex will be playing second. And the winner of each of those matches has to face the bye. Looking at it in that layout, who do you think takes the cake? Or do you have a favourite at this point in time?
My favorite's Sicario.
Same.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, you're both going Sicario. You guys are wild. Oh my, I gotta write this down. Hold up a minute. Do you know what I love though?
Of a team.
I love that coming out of an NA team where
But
the
then
NA
again,
rivalry is normally heavily, and because I'm gonna be honest with you, as an EU homeboy, the CIS teams are turning up right now.
Yeah, but like, dude, like, come on. Fuck
Really?
Sicario. Like, what do you mean?
I mean, I agree, but look at XPA, look at Virtus Pro, who are absolutely dominating right now. I mean, I tell you what the elephant in the room is right now. That XPA Panderic 1-1, that is outstandingly an upset in comparison to everything else that happened on the pitch. Yeah? Like 2-0 XPA versus Virtus Pro, that to everybody else is an upset. Yeah? This is a Virtus Pro dominated tournament before we saw the teams this year for sure. Right? Sicario are definitely up there, and I agree with you, but I think you guys are mega cooked. I think that's a very bold statement.
No.
You're backing that all the way. You're happy to back that all the way to the courts, are you?
Yeah, I will bet my fucking channel points on it. Fucking Sicario, fucking Panderic finals.
I like that, I'm not going to lie to you. I really, really like that. I double you that. We're going to get that clips and we'll get that on the socials for later on as well. We'll get that in support for the Sicario squad. So you heard it out here first, folks, okay? The way to wet the blade with the blood of the knife is going to be the strength of the Sicario squad cruising on out to the end of the ACS in the mindset of Blake. And I'm actually going to double down. Luke, do you have any expansions on that? Because I know you agree, but do you think there's going to be a team that Sicario have a tough task against? Who's going to knock them off that peg if it's going to be anyone? Well, I think we've lost the audio from Luke.
I just realized I was muted. My fault. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a landslide. From what I've seen from Sicarios, they are bad motherfuckers. Okay. Not to say that everybody else isn't also bad motherfuckers by any means. I think it's going to be a tough fight by all means. I think it'll be some really good matches. I think them and Virtus Pro or them and Panderic would probably be the ending match. Would be my guess.
Okay.
Yeah, brother.
The one thing that makes me very excited, all right, and this is going to be the real one, is Panderic have to play Tarkov Help first to get a rematch against XPA. Bear in mind they went 1-1 in the groups.
Yeah, right? Easy dub.
God forbid.
What are we stressing about?
All right, if Tarkov Help knock Panderic out of the park, I reckon you could be right. And you know what I'd love to see for the grand final? I would, against all odds, love to see an EU grand final.
Yeah,
like, imagine somebody in the semis or the quarters knocks out both of the CIS teams competing for that top spot. That would be an absolute upset. I don't think it's going to happen. I do think we are going to see the strongest 4 teams in the semis. I think the next 2 that get cut, honestly, personally, out of pure respect for everybody, I think Ancient Fighters bite the dust unless they can change their form back to what they were touted for before this tournament. And I think Panderic Apex are the ones that are going to struggle against Tarkov Help, purely because 8 Sins played Tarkov Help and really gave them a run for the money when they were on form in the first map. But then Tarkov Help tripled down and really, really put it home in the second. So I'm scared Tarkov Help's got more to give.
I don't know. Fucking the way I look at it is Cacao's on Panderic. And dude, that roster is actually fucking stacked. Fucking
it is.
Dude.
Yep.
Come on. And
Rapid,
also Sicario
Cacao,
has Verlex,
Codex.
so they automatically win. Suck my dick.
Do you know what? I think you're right, and I'll tell you why I think you're right. the meta. We talked about these Baltis and who is absolutely slapping people with this Balti right now.
Argo was doing very good. Yeah, they were.
Burlax.
I'm just talking shit. I did like. I'm not. I just talk shit. That's what I do. And like, I might mean what I'm saying. I might not. Who fucking knows? But
It's good cook. No, I like to hear it. And this is like we say, folks, okay? This is why we brought the Vanguard onto the podcast this week, okay? I've been speaking to Luke, like I said, for a while to try and get this organized. And I've had many a conversation with Blake up to this point regarding this and other things, which I'm always, grateful to be able to spend 5 minutes chatting with Blake because he's another eye-opener. I feel like we vibe on a similar wavelength when we talk, and it's just rare you get that with too many people. So I'm always down for a good chat with Blake. But that's it. That is going to be us cooked for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We were slightly late starting, so it is a slightly late finish time, and that's on me. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm no good with math, all right? It is what it is. I can work a microphone, but I can't do mathematics. Sometimes you just don't get all the skills in the cookbook, and every D&D character needs a dump stat. Mine, timekeeping. It is what it is, but I would like to take a moment to say thank you to BlakeDahlia and to LootGoblin for taking time out of their days for being here for the podcast. It's been amazing having you guys. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
It's always a pleasure. And I'd like to say thanks to the guys in the chat as well. Folks, appreciate you all tuning in, checking out what's going on in the scene, sharing your opinions, and getting involved inside of the chat, okay? That is going to be the end of episode 5 of the Vanguard from the Welcome to Arena podcast. I'm going to be catching you all across the next couple of days doing some streaming on the Thursday and the Friday. If you guys want to check out the personal stream, by all means drop by, as well as keep yourself with your eyes on that X page. Podcast will go down. Twitch VOD will go live. It will be live, exported onto the YouTube within the hour, and all of those links for the Vanguard content, including signing up for that tournament, will be going on that X page straight afterwards, okay? Please make sure you get involved. Go on, Blake.
Could we put like the rest of the socials for the rest of the guys on Vanguard and stuff?
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like we barely got a chance to talk about the fucking talent that I'm playing with, but like,
yes, please, yeah, go for it. So,
like, at least give them a platform to like
talk me through the roster
showcase how
before we
fucking
go.
good they are.
If you guys are not in any rush and everybody in chat's chilling, I'm not on a time schedule. So if you've got more to talk about, then we're here for it. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no need to wrap up. So honestly, let's have a talk about that lineup then. So, introduce to chat what Vanguard looks like for the Div 1 team. And I'd like you also, can you share the Div 2 roster? Is that something you're willing to share for now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the main roster is Scratch, Clutch, fucking Jay, and Winner. Or, well, Windchillin, Winner. And, well, I guess me, and then Boppin as sub. Like, fucking diabolical roster.
So you've both got an extra 60 seconds in the chat there for links, so go wild to it. And
folks,
don't worry, it's all right. Like I said, folks, all of these links that these guys are getting now, okay, I'm going to grab, and they're going to be on the X post down there. I will tag both Lou and Blake in that X post so that they can share it out for you guys as well. But like we said, it'll be on the X page. It'll be in the YouTube video for you guys in the comments section on the YouTube. I'll get that posted under there as well, so it's in the description for the YouTube video, so you can get to all of these. All right, all of them links, we're gonna get them all. That's it. If you need more time, I'm just gonna permit you double down just in case.
I'm spamming them.
I'm not gonna lie to you. We need to get somebody. Hey, folks, if there's anyone in chat who's a Nightbot professional, yeah, you're hired. Just get in touch. I need somebody to get a leash on my Nightbot because he's kind of a bit wild. All right, just go wild. So get on those links, guys. There's Windchill in there. There is a Winter,
Clutch,
Scratch. That's it. Yep, absolutely.
Boppin doesn't stream, but
he should. Boppin's great. Big fan of Boppin, actually.
Yeah,
nice
he's
guy.
a
really nice guy.
A saint.
Same goes for your Div 2 team. I'm going to be honest with you. The majority of the Vanguard members, in fact, every single one of the Vanguard members I've had the fortune of playing against, with, or bumping into in a Discord channel is an absolute delight to be around, all right? These guys are trying to represent what the scene is good for, folks. Yeah, shit talk aside, like Blake said, he's not afraid to call someone a pussy if they're playing like a sausage on the floor, all right? That is what it is. But it's called telling the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. That's how it is. So if you want to get involved and you want to get sort of interacting with that team, there are 5 phenomenal players that have been linked there alone, including the rest of the roster that extends down to those that are substitutes and those in the Div 2. So please make sure you interact with all of it. All right?
Yeah.
That being said, we're going to look forward to some more action. ACS, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. following that, ASPL starting the week after for the Semi-Pro League. There's tons going on all around the scene. Sicario have signed themselves a Japanese squad, sorry. The Panderic team have now picked up an Australian squad. You guys have got Div 2 teams. The Epic Fails squad have got a Div 1 and a Div 2 team. So it's all expanding right now. We've got a Counter-Strike team coming and playing ASPL. We had an Overwatch 2 team coming and playing Rivals. So I'm going to be honest with you, folks. If you're not getting involved with what's going down with Arena right now, I don't think you're paying attention to the best action that's going on in the FPS scene at this moment in time, okay? It might be small at this moment in time, all right? But by the end of 2025, I think you're going to be finding Escape from Tarkov along a lot more billboards and probably being talked about in a lot more of the scene than it has before. So much to the point that even that information that I showed you guys about the Arena Cup series today on screen, that's on Liquipedia now. That's a brand new thing that's been there for a long time that we've been asking for. The Arena Cup series is fully documented on there, the matchups, the teams, the scoreboards and everything coming with that. So, in the near future, hopefully we're going to get to see the results of the Vanguard tournament that will be on there as well. Something that I will be working with Loot to get locked in for the Liquipedia page as well, if they've not already got that under wraps. So feel free to reach out for that one as well. So, with that being said, that is going to be it for tonight. As always, you guys have been epic in the chat. Thank you for sharing your opinions. Thank you for being here to help support the growth of the channel. And thank you for checking in with the guys from the Vanguard squad. All right? We'll look forward to seeing you all out there on the arena. And until next time, stay smiling, stay safe, don't stay salty, and remember, have fun with your games. It's not that mad. It's only pixels. Round two, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going out to Big Sky TV. There is a raid coming in now. Big Sky is a Div 2 member for the Vanguard squad. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to go in and show them some love. Okay, we're going to be raiding on out to them right now. Go say hello to Big Sky. Go drop in some love from the podcast and make sure we show some Vanguard support. Thank you for being here. Stay awesome, stay wicked, and make sure if it's anger, keep it inside of the arena.